Jordan Adlard Rogers had always felt a sense of displacement, a quiet unease that hummed beneath the surface of his life. It was a feeling that lingered in the background, a constant companion that he couldn't shake off. He couldn't quite put his finger on it. This nagging sensation that something was amiss, this feeling that he didn't belong. It was as if he was living someone else's life, a life that didn't quite fit him. He was a young man of simple means, raised in rural England, where the rolling hills and open fields were his playground. His days were filled with the honest labor of a farmhand, tending to the animals, working the land, and finding solace in the routine of farm life. The future stretched before him, predictable and unassuming. He imagined a life much like his father's and his father's before him. Then everything changed. A DNA test, taken on a whim, revealed a truth so shocking, so profoundly life-altering, that it sent shockwaves through his world. Jordan Adlard Rogers, the farmhand, the boy who felt adrift, was the heir to a $60 million estate. The news hit him like a physical force. $60 million. The number echoed in his mind, a string of digits that held the power to reshape his entire existence. It was a dizzying, disorienting realization. His life, once defined by its limitations, now stretched before him, a vast canvas of possibilities. The inheritance wasn't just about money, it was about identity, about belonging, about finally understanding the strange dissonance that had always shadowed him. The revelation was more than just a financial windfall. It was a key to his past, a bridge to a heritage he never knew existed. As he stood on the threshold of this new reality, Jordan couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought him here. The string of numbers that now defined his future also connected him to a lineage, a history that was both exhilarating and overwhelming. It was a dizzying, disorienting realization. The life he had known, with all its simplicity and predictability, was now a thing of the past. His life, once defined by its limitations, now stretched before him, a vast canvas of possibilities. The open road, the vast landscape, the horizon stretching out, all metaphors for the new life awaiting him. The inheritance wasn't just about money. It was about identity, about belonging, about finally understanding the strange dissonance that had always shadowed him. The inheritance wasn't just about money. It was about identity, about belonging, about finally understanding the strange dissonance that had always shadowed him. As he looked back on his life, Jordan realized that every moment of unease, every feeling of displacement, had led him to this point. It was a journey of self-discovery, a path to understanding who he truly was and where he belonged. Jordan's childhood had been happy enough, filled with the simple joys of rural life. The laughter of children playing in the fields, the warmth of the sun on his face, and the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze were his constant companions. He had loving adoptive parents who provided for him, ensuring he never felt the sting of want or the ache of loneliness. Their home was a sanctuary, a place where love was abundant and freely given, a close-knit community that embraced him as one of their own, where neighbors were like extended family, always ready with a helping hand or a kind word. But there were always whispers, hushed conversations that hinted at a past shrouded in mystery. The adults would exchange glances, their voices dropping to a murmur whenever he was near. Jordan was adopted, that much he knew. It was a fact that had been gently explained to him when he was old enough to understand. But the details of his birth family, his lineage, remained frustratingly elusive. He would spend hours poring over old documents, searching for clues that might lead him to the answers he so desperately sought. His adoptive parents, though loving, were tight-lipped about his origins. Their reluctance to discuss his past only fueled his curiosity and deepened his sense of unease. As Jordan grew older, the unanswered questions began to gnaw at him. The more he learned about the world, the more he realized how little he knew about himself. Who were his biological parents? What were their lives like? Did they ever think of him? Where did he come from? What was his heritage? These questions haunted him, echoing in the quiet moments of his day. Why was he given up for adoption? Was it out of love, necessity, or something else entirely? The lack of answers left a void in his heart. These questions, left to fester in the silence, took root in his mind, sprouting into a tangled thicket of uncertainty. Each day, the weight of the unknown grew heavier, pressing down on him. He yearned to know his roots, to understand the forces that had shaped his life. The search for his identity became a consuming quest, one that he could not ignore. The lack of answers left him feeling incomplete, like a puzzle missing its final piece. He longed to fit the pieces together, to see the full picture of his life, and finally find peace.